had never been done before.
We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route to do. We the people are free. And I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited.
Well, g'day folks, how are you tonight? It's a little bit chilly in my part of the world. Just a bit of a glance at my connection. It's looking a little shaky, if I've got to say so myself. And let's be honest, it has been the day for shaky connections. Arvy's had some big news. Thank you to Tony Melbourne, who's sent me a whole heap of stuff, including the finding, I think. I haven't had time to read it all yet, mate, but I will get into it. Solution, and we'll see whether or not that is in fact any better. Doesn't look like it at this stage, so let me know in the chat, folks, if you're having trouble or if the picture is catching. I'll try and keep a low profile with ducking, weaving, moving, and carrying on. I started a couple of comments. Yeah, thanks, Tony, for all your information. Angie had something good to say. Hello, greetings to all. What a fight we are fighting. Absolutely. Releasing all the truths. No bullshit. Ain't that the truth? Still holding the line. Clouds are forming over yonder. Ain't that the truth? Those asleep don't see even the clouds. No, I've been struggling with this very thought the last 3 or 4 days myself. In fact, I think we've all struggled with this thought. I think most of us are aware that those who are going to wake up are probably awake. We need some more enlightening moments that are going to red pill the society, I guess is the best way of looking at it. We can't do it. We're sick and tired. Well, many of us are sick and tired of the fight. Many have fallen as we have continued this fight for the last however many 4 or 5 years now. And that's no slight at those who have fallen. Many people have been attacked and attacked in some pretty brutal ways. So they've spent their time on the front line. They're recuperating, but these are the kind of warriors that will come back and hopefully bring with them more awakened people. What are you doing to wake up the people around you? I'm not saying you're not doing anything. It's just, what are you doing that you're finding is succeeding? And if it is succeeding, can you share it, please? Because we'll try and do more of it. I guess we all try our own different ways, and that is as it should be. But I kind of think that if some of us are hitting on a good way of presenting and having a good strike rate with waking up people, it's probably good to share it. That strike rate shouldn't be counted by the immediate wake-ups, the ones who say, oh, yeah, I'm awake now. It should be counted by their longevity, their ability to get into the fight and not just pick up the popcorn and watch it from the sidelines, as so many people do. And I'm not having to go at those people either, because many of those people are not physically able to get up and fight. You know, they are of a certain age or a certain ability, or they may in fact have a disability. Is that still a word? Are we allowed to use that still? I don't know. Probably not in Victoria. And they can't physically be on the front line, but they support in so many other ways. And one of those people is one of the friends that we have here. I've got many friends in the chat and people who follow Voice of Freedom, but one I was speaking to today is Margie Sedgman. You've heard of me speak of Margie a few times. She's been off her feet a bit recently and needs a few, or a bit of love and prayers. So if you put Margie in your prayers, I know we've got a fairly big list of people we keep saying, putting a good word in for, so to speak, Guru amongst them. I've meant to call him over the weekend and haven't got to it yet, so I'll try and get that tomorrow. I have a couple of things I want to chat to him about. But he's on that list because we want that lip fixed, and every little bit helps at this present juncture. Of course, he's trying the X39 patches too. I think he's probably been on them a month. Last time I spoke, he was very, very impressed with the results that he was having. The mass was shrinking. which is a good sign. And there were some other bits and pieces to do with the whole thing that made his jaw better and inside of his mouth and all that kind of thing. So it seemed to be having great effect, and it has that healing effect on many parts of the body. So if you are aches and pains, or all the way through to something more serious, may I suggest just giving them a try. You might find that you're in no more pain, and their technology is simply astounding. It works at a cellular level to reignite your copper peptides in your own blood, and those copper peptides produce the stem cells that our body uses to grow everything in our body. And you can go to a doctor, you can pay thousands of dollars and have stem cell treatment and get somebody else's stem cells injected into you, or you can put on one of these X39 patches and excite your own stem cells to come back into life. And as we grow older, we lose that ability to produce the stem cells in the same mass we were able to in our younger days, the same volume. And that's why as we age, it takes longer to heal, because we don't produce those stem cells as fast or as frequently. But the X39 patches changes all that, and I would recommend them to you. The link is available. Where is the link? I do have a link here somewhere, I'm sure of it. I can put that one up there. It'll scroll across the bottom, and copy that one down and check it out, folks. Now, you don't have to go in and buy packs. There is a new way you can do this. If you want some advice on how you can just buy a pack and not join LifeWave, so to speak, then you can do that. Just tick the preferred customer box, and it'll ask you to auto pay. That's just to get through for your first order, and then untick that and you'll be fine. And you get it for the price I pay, $99 plus postage. Oh, what a hard word to try and figure out, but well worth trying, folks. And you'll get a month's worth for about $99 plus postage and handling. And I've got to tell you, they make a difference in my life. I've had them here on my wrist. As you know, when I broke my wrist, I wear them quite regularly for my back and my knees. And I notice pain goes immediately. I should be wearing them for my knees on basically a daily basis. But because I give so many of these things out, I never have enough to get me through a month. So I only use them when I'm sore. But that's not the correct way to use them. You can probably stretch them out, though, if you needed to. Anyway, enough of that sort of stuff for the time whilst. What else are we talking about tonight? Well, a little bit of housekeeping. You've seen this. You've seen the posters. You've heard me talk about it. But please, folks, go and get yourself tickets in our raffle if you haven't already done so. Let me have a look. We started out with the show, I think, with 275 tickets left in this draw. We've got a little bit less than that now, say about 260 tickets left now. So they're only $2 a ticket. Buy one, buy up to 20 if you like as a maximum. Let's see if we can't give away another $750 tonight. T, who is what I'm naming our first winner, has decided to share the money with the family. What a great thing to be able to spread a few bucks around and make somebody's day. So congratulations, and I thank you very much for your entry. Hope you got another one in. You never know. Stranger things have happened, I suppose. People have won lotto twice, and we don't have anywhere near those kind of odds. So our odds are pretty good. Only 750 tickets in a 750 ticket raffle. And it will redraw or restart a raffle again as soon as we get to our 750 number. It will automatically draw a winner and email that winner. You'll get a number when you buy your ticket, your lottery number, and it's not like Blue 31, I can tell you. It's a hell of a number. So hang on to that. And if you're lucky enough to be drawn out of the computer hat, so to speak, it'll email you, and you just need to reply to that with your details, and Vince will make sure that the money goes into your account at the earliest opportunity. I'm not sure if Vince is in the chat. I haven't heard from him all day. I suspect he might be sleeping, but I could be wrong. He might be in. G'day, Pete. Nice to see you in tonight. Denise, all the usual suspects in. G'day, Andrew Barker. Cunning Linguist is in. The lovely Sunflower. Prayers too for you and Rick, love. I think the family here knows that the Rick has his struggles with his health. So at the moment he's battling a few issues. So folks, put Rick and Sunflower in your prayers as well. And while we're doing it, we may as well keep Sandy and Baz and the rest of the team at the Good Samaritan Donkey Sanctuary, who have already benefited from our first raffle. And some of the hay that bought arrived last night, I'm led to believe, down at the sanctuary. I tried to do a live on that today, and you can see the phone is still buggerized. I'd forgotten this little microphone, which is meant to plug in the bottom, and it changes everything. But anyway, I've forgotten all about that. It's been a while since I tried to do a live. So my apologies for that one. You couldn't really hear this morning. But basically wanted to tell you about the raffle and, of course, the horrendous rain that is happening down in New South Wales at the moment from the mid-north coast down. And it's only going to get heavier. In fact, I believe late this afternoon, all ferry services were suspended on Sydney Harbour because the winds were so strong. There hasn't been too much going out to sea in the last few days. The winds are cyclonic out to sea off New South Wales, and the seas obviously to match. The ocean is going to cause massive amounts of erosion down the southeast coast of Australia, particularly south of Sydney, down through the Illawarra and to Jervis Bay in particular. Now, Jervis Bay is likely to cop a severe pummeling with both wind, rain, and storm seas. Interesting, it's all happening around there. And interesting that this huge cyclonic bomb, or bomb cyclone as they're calling it, and they call it that because this is out of season. The cyclone season, really early May would be the latest you would expect to see a tropical cyclone at any rate. This is a whole different ballgame. This is made up of 3 low systems that have come across the bottom of the country and then hit another system that was north of it, up on or off the Queensland coast and coming down through central Queensland. And they've mixed together to create quite the little storm and dumping hundreds and hundreds of millimetres of rain. So I fear the Donkey Sanctuary and the donkeys will be rounded up and back undercover again. I know yesterday Sandy sent me a text saying how busy they were doing just that. So, look, and there is a thing in the chat from her. I can see fair bit of wind. More goddamn rain, yeah. Coming in sideways as you type. Bloody awful. All right, well, let's hope the roads stay open. I know it's a bit of a battle at times, keeping the roads open. Beautiful part of the world you live in, but yes, when the river comes up, it is not so flash. G'day, Connie. G'day, Alan. Love the soup. Thank you. And there will be lasagna tonight. Just saying what I'm having for dinner. Thank you, Deb. Like and share. Yes, if you could please like and share. Now, this is a little while ago, this comment from Deb. She's one of 7 who have liked so far. So it's very important that even if you don't subscribe, to at least like the show, folks, even if you're only watching for a short period. The algorithm sees that, and if you want to make a comment, particularly after the show has gone to air, and I read those comments, I usually reply to the good ones. Don't really bother replying to the fools. But thankfully, we don't get too many of those with Voice of Freedom. Having said that, you watch them light up. So thanks, Deb, and thanks for reminding me. Yes, please like and share, folks. Would love a VOF car sticker. What a bloody good idea. Hadn't thought of that. What would you like to see on it? Sunflower, what would you like to see on it? Something from the Donkey Sanctuary, maybe? Or just, we could do a please wake up sticker. We could do a time to fight sticker. Let me hide that. And let me take the banner down for a sec. We could do this. I like that one particularly. We could do that. I think that'd look quite good on a coffee cup. You can give that to certain people at the office and potentially get away with it. They might ask why. So there are those sorts of things that we could put up there. And then, of course, there are other things that I get sent. Now, I meant to mention this at the head of the show, and I did mention it today in that live that you couldn't hear. I want to thank you, beautiful people. Over the last 3 or 4 days, a number of you have reached out in various different ways, and some of you have sent me things, which I deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate. And one of the most amazing things that I have been sent has come from Katrina and Tony, who live out west in far western Queensland, and that is this little fella here. Now, this is a little dragon that I have just opened the box and fallen in love with. It is too cute for words, and I'll show you a better picture. Too cute for words. So, Katrina, Tony, thank you. It cheered me up no end when I picked it up yesterday. So it's only been sitting there probably a week, but I just can't thank you enough. And to everybody else who's reached out with kind words and some beautiful ideas of things you'd like me to read, including Sunflower, who's sent a magnificent poem through that I'll go to work on at some stage this week, and hopefully have that for you. We'll see what happens. But yes, stickers, car stickers. What a great idea. Which leads me back to an old radio station competition we used to run with car stickers. And that was, well, if we were driving around and we saw a car sticker, you won a prize for the radio station. Now, that obviously would mean I'd need to do a bit more driving, or we'd have to get Vince out driving around South Australia and maybe some people in Victoria and New South Wales to be keeping an eye out for those with a sticker on. But it might be another way that we might be able to split some of the money that we can hopefully generate from this lottery. And should we be able to grow this lottery, we will put bigger prizes up. From $750 to $1,000 maybe, or $1,500, whatever we can, generate without having to spend 6 months selling tickets to get to a winner. The idea is to help as many people as possible with this lottery, and that is by only churning the thing over as fast as we possibly can. And at $2 a ticket, we've made it affordable for just about everybody. And if you've only got $2 left in your wallet or in your bank to be able to do it, well, the decision is up to yours. I don't know what you can do with $2 these days. I've always got $2 or $3 left in my bank account, and I don't think there's too much I can do with it. But maybe it's worth a go at picking up $750. You never know; it just might change your day. If not, a portion of your $2 and a reasonable portion of that will go to helping the donkeys at the Good Samaritan Donkey Sanctuary, which will help you feel good while you're not able to eat. Does that help? I'm sorry. All right, moving on. I'm going to mention this first up tonight because I know we have a lot of Italian friends in our family here, and I'm a bit concerned because I haven't seen too much going on in mainstream media. Italia. Well, we've been talking a bit about what's going on in the world of volcanoes and earthquakes and landslides and all sorts of things. Well, today, around Naples, there was a bit of both. There was an earthquake. That earthquake resulted in a landslide, and that landslide was on a cliff face at a beach, and there were a lot of people there. Fortunately, nobody was underneath the huge amount of rock that came down this rock face. And then Campi Flegrei, I think is how you say it. Campi Flegrei. Flegrei, forgive you. Anyway, that is a volcano very close to Naples. Now, this volcano is in fact a supervolcano. So its caldera stretches many hundreds of kilometers, and some of that stretches out to sea. Which is where today's earthquake happened. Now, it was a 4.6, which you might say is not very significant, but for two reasons it was significant. The first reason is it was so shallow. It was at around 4 kilometers, or just over 4 kilometers in depth, and 4.6 at that sort of depth does create quite a large shake on the surface. The other concerning factor is that this particular quake happened out to see, some distance off the boot, if you like, of Italy, but well within the caldera of the Campi Flegrei volcano. Then the volcano started, and it has been active in the last 2 weeks. There have been some eruptions, lots of gas, and what scientists are reporting now is a huge amount of gas ejection and potential magma buildup under the surface. This particular volcano seems to be coming to life in different areas rather than the main volcanic vent. There are new vents that appear to be opening, and that's what they are saying. These, well, I've only told you of one earthquake, but in the last 24 hours, there have been hundreds in this particular area. Some, much less than 1 on the Richter scale, but all of them, for the most part, above 1 and up to as high as 4.6. Now, these are earthquake clusters, and they're happening around the base, if you like, of this caldera, this dish of this supervolcano. And what the scientists are saying is that this movement of Earth is the way that the volcano creates new vent systems for the magma and lava and whatnot to travel through. I think it's magma when it's underground still, isn't it? To travel through to get to the surface. Now, this earthquake happening out to sea might indicate that a vent could open offshore. It might indicate that, the earth that was being moved out there has been moved to block a vent or create a vent somewhere back closer to the Italian coast. What is pretty clear is that mainstream media are not talking about it at all, and I would be interested to know why the Italian media isn't more vocal in reporting what's going on there. And it's not just going on there. There are a striking number of earthquakes happening in what's called the Hellenic Arc, which is off Crete. Now, these earthquakes are swarming, as they're termed, and once again, not particularly high, ranging up to the mid to high 4 point something, and once again, swarms from little to large. This is happening, as I say, around Crete. There are also actions already happened at a couple of volcanic areas off Crete and around Crete. So the Mediterranean horseshoe of fire is also coming to life. In Turkey, there have been earthquakes recently. There have been landslides, great shifts of land recently. And further afield, there have been tsunami warnings in the last couple of days in Florida, amongst other places, Japan, amongst other places. Indonesia have got the twin volcanoes going off, not too far from Bali, about 1,000 k's, I suppose, from Bali, but they are significant, very large volcanoes, twin volcanoes, and one is still belching lava. The other one is just putting out a lot of smoke, ash, and heat and gases at the moment, but they are more active than they have been in a long time. Just about all the volcanoes in the world are more active than they have been in a long time, and Vesuvius is showing signs of more activity. So it's going to be interesting, folks. Here we are, July 1st, and so many predictions of what this year will hold. July 1st indicates a new financial year for Australians. It's the middle, I think, of the financial year for the Americans. And Donald Trump will be preparing for an Independence Day speech, no doubt, that will have significant ramifications, we all hope, for not just America, but for the world. Now, that might also extend, we would think, to the markets. And boy, are the markets under a bit of pressure at the moment. Now, I don't know how they're doing it, but they are able to suppress the price of silver, suppress the price of gold, not almost at will, but this is if you listen to the Ainsley Insights channel from Ainsley Bullion, if you listen to what those guys, and they are very, very talented analysts, they'll tell you that this is not unexpected what's happening with the bullion price at the moment. It is dropping back down just a little. Silver at the moment is under $55, $54.98, and gold is back under $5,100 at $5,067.16. Look, if you've got the ability to buy now, buy now. Don't think if you bought the other day when I said it was $56, buy now. Oh shit, you've lost money. You haven't. This is a temporary dip, I promise you. And if Ainsley Insights are anything to go by, and they're not the only ones predicting this, the bounce back is going to be very significant in the very, very near future. And when we say very significant, we're talking not $1 or $2, but significantly more than that. Fingers crossed, that's what we're hoping for. And if you find it hard to get into the market and buy yourself some gold and silver right now, then go to ainsleyBullion.com.au, click on the Ainsley Saver link there, and just explore that option. Because you can put in $5 a week, $10 a week, $50 a week, a month, a fortnight, whatever you choose, and it will buy your choice of gold or silver or platinum, whatever precious metal you like, in smaller increments. And that means that every week you're just chipping away, getting a little bit more, a little bit more. Eventually you'll get a gram or a few grams. You'll have enough grams to buy, half an ounce. You get half an ounce and half an ounce. You've got an ounce. And eventually all of that adds up, particularly when the price you pay today might be worth another $200 an ounce tomorrow. And that's the sort of price that gold is jumping at the moment. Silver, let's hope, in the not too distant future. Keep an eye out. Ainsley Bullion will be opening a new office on the Gold Coast. That's happening next month, and we'll be there live for that, and it'll be a great night out. I'm really looking forward to being part of that. I think there's going to be quite a few others there for the evening. It should be a very interesting night. So if we can't do the show live from there, we'll certainly do something from there and bring it to you. But if you're on the Gold Coast, get ready. You won't have to make the trek to Brisbane. And the team down here on the Gold Coast is getting the new premises all sorted out. And we look forward to being able to bring you all the details about that at the appropriate time. Okay, let's move on. Here's an interesting little story that came out last week. Now, I'm not quite sure who Michael Flynn Jr. is, but I did check this through Bongino's account, and it does appear to be the case. An agitator arrested in the Los Angeles riots recently was found to be handing out phones and cash to rioters. Turned out to be an FBI agent from the LA field office. So we have seen the FBI operating with agents provocateur so many times before. Hello, the Capitol, anyone? Trump's Insurrection Day parade. Absolutely unbelievable. But this is the kind of shit we come to expect from the people who are supposedly running our world at the moment. Do you, like me, whenever you sit back and think, God, how can they be doing this? And you get that little bit frustrated. Do you ever sit back and remember, hey, it's just a movie? It's a really well-designed movie to get us emotionally hooked in, because with emotions, you don't think straight, you don't see straight. You can be easily led to a different scenario and accept it. Well, a lot of us aren't like that, thank God. But unfortunately, we've got to keep waking the majority of the folks up. And maybe in Victoria, this might be a way of doing it. Now, I cannot believe, and thanks to the Herald Sun, police are investigating a Melbourne-based vigilante gang who have shot to fame, luring alleged pedophiles into public settings and shaming them online. But the group says they've got no intention of slowing down. Well, why the hell would they? If they're doing it all lawfully, and if they're catching these people out, as I've seen, I don't know if it's the Melbourne guys, I've seen some people do this, where they act as teenagers or as young girls or boys in these chat rooms, and then wind up meeting these predators when they turn up to take them on a date. Some of these predators are quite graphic in what they're expecting to do on the date before they get there. So I imagine that these guys in Melbourne do not approach people without very strong evidence. And I would also hope that they are talking to the police about these people and pushing them forward. I wonder, though, what the Victorian police in particular would do about it. I mean, you'd like to think that their pedophile department would be all over this and thanking these people for doing what they're doing. Yes, it might be dangerous, but, well, so's police work. These guys are doing it without a gun, I'm sure, or handcuffs. They're not arresting anyone. They're just catching the perp doing what predators do. What's so bad about that? Should be more of it. It's how it used to be done, you know. Before there were coppers, before there was a constable, this sort of thing got handled inside the community. The men and women of the community made decisions. More than likely, the men went out and carried out those decisions. Now, back in those days, there may not have been a work release plan. There may not have been a bail order. There may not have been counselling available to try and cure said sicko from whatever sickness they had. And, of course, those folks were working pretty hard, 20 hours a day, just trying to make enough food to eat and survive. Did they have time really to go and deal with somebody like this? They certainly didn't have the ability to lock them up. So what did they do? I mean, I'm sure they didn't knock them all on the head. Some would have been given a chance. Some would have been terribly repentant. Some would have survived. But how would they have lived in the community? Would they have been thrown out of the community? Would they have been shamed in that community? Because that's really, I think, where we're at now. We need to turn our backs on those that shame us in all sorts of public places. And I'm working on an idea at the moment. It's one I've spoken about before some years ago. With all these things that are happening, the big Cairns to Canberra run at the moment, these are all great things. To what effect, I'm not sure. We're talking to the corporation in Canberra, and they don't care how much paperwork we send them. They don't care how many times we sign it or how big our signature is, or how passionately we may believe in whatever it is we are signing. They don't care. We are nothing. We do not affect the outcome of anything they do, and therefore we are to be politely ignored until such time as we cannot be ignored. One of the things that we are forever crying about and calling out for is support from our police and military services. Because we were under the false belief that the police, at least, were working for the people, whereas they do not. They hold an oath to the corporation, and that's who they will work for. I mean, I'm sure there are some good police in there who will work for the people, but their oath at the moment suggests they are committed to somewhere else. The military is similar, but less so. And the military is bigger. And therein lies what may be the beginnings of an idea. So I'm going to talk about it further with some people. But if we decide to go ahead with it, I will make available some things you can download and go and get printed at whatever cheap price you can get, whether you print them out at home on your home printer or you want to make bigger ones and go to Officeworks or somewhere and get them done. And then we might have a day or two or three or four or five in a row where we do something with those. And it will be something that will impact, I would hope, every Defence Force person at every base in this country at some point. So keep an ear out for that. That's coming up pretty soon. And I keep talking about bloodlines, which is part what I spoke about today in the chat you didn't hear. So bloodlines, how do you protect your bloodline? What is your bloodline? What do you perceive to be your bloodline? We're going to have a talk with somebody in a couple of weeks about this, but I've put it up for the last few weeks because I thought we were going to have that chat last week, but it turned out that unavailable, so and not available now. I think it's until the 18th. But I want you to think about what protecting your bloodline means to you. It could mean a lot of different things. It could mean everything from the jibbity jab through to I guess in its most extreme, some sort of Aryan kind of bloodline dream. Let's hopefully not go too far down that road. But I am very interested to hear what you would do and what you believe protecting your bloodline will mean. And I think you'll be very surprised when we have this catch up. I think you'll be very surprised to learn just how important it is to protect your bloodline and what that statement truly means. So keep an eye out for that coming up in the next couple of weeks. The headline for tonight's show was technology in your head. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it something you're a bit indifferent or ambivalent about? So I've got to tell you, I'm pretty shocked, amazed, and torn between the technology that I see and the uses that it is proposed to have for those of us that suffer various disabilities, those of us that suffer hearing or sight loss, limb loss or limb immobilization, everything from quadriplegia and paraplegia through to helping with brain injury. This is amazing technology. But Neuralink, which is Elon Musk's baby, there are others, not just Neuralink. This is technology that requires you having an implant, something that is put into your brain, a computer chip that is wired into different areas of your brain and allows external programming to be entered directly into the brain. Now, I want to ask you a question, and let me just go back to the chat so I can try and see your answers. I'm not sure, maybe there are blind people listening to this show right now that have been blind from birth, have never had sight. I'm very interested to learn if this technology were available to you today, would you use it? Would you reach out and grab it? It must be very tempting, having never seen a sunset, to not know what a rainbow looks like, to not know what a cow looks like. When you think about somebody who's been blind from birth, unless they've been able to feel a cow and get an idea for the shape, they probably don't have much of an idea of what a cow looks like. Now, that might come from playing with toys and getting a feel for what a little cow looks like as a toy all the way through. I don't know. I've never been 100% blind all my life to find out how this works. Deaf people, I can't imagine too many deaf people are listening to the show right now, but I'm sure if the technology became available, and the cochlear implant is almost that sort of technology, although less invasive, now it's given people with hearing loss the ability to speak, to hear. Many of them shun it after it's been implanted and turned on. Many of them turn it off, unplug it, because they're so used to the silence that hearing everything, every little noise, the wind, the leaves, the footsteps, every little noise is overwhelming to many of those people. So I wonder, is that something that a deaf or a blind person would embrace? What about you lost your arm in a motorcycle accident? Now, you've got a prosthetic arm, but, it's a bunch of wires and straps and, you've got to sort of wiggle your stump in a certain way to get your claw to move. What if this new neural technology would allow you to have what looked to be an almost perfect arm attached to your shoulder, and all you needed to do to make it work, to pick up a mouse, was to look at the mouse and think, oh, well, I want to pick up the mouse. And that's how easy it is. Now, if you'd been born without arms, would you embrace the technology? Would you want them? Because by now you've figured out how to get through your life without arms. But I understand the call, the pull to do this would be immensely strong. But make no mistake, what we are talking about is transhumanism. To have a chip inserted into your body to allow a computer to control that chip, to program you directly, takes you out of the realm of God's creation and puts you firmly into something else. And God is very clear, very, very clear, that if you were to go down this route and allow this sort of technology to invade his creation, this body that we all inhabit, then you will have no place in his house. You will have no spiritual future. In fact, many would believe that by getting a neural implant, something that allowed others or a computer, an AI, to control you, to program you directly, is tantamount to the devil himself having control. And I think the good Lord saw that sort of thing coming, and that's why he very, very clearly stipulates in the Bible that you do not go playing around with this kind of thing. You do not mess with his creation. He will not let you back into his house. You will be abhorrent to him and not recognized. So, without the fire and brimstone, would you still, knowing that if you have a spiritualness about you, if you believe in soul, if you believe in afterlife, if you believe in regeneration, all that comes to an end if you get this kind of implant in your body. And I don't think it's going to help if you say, oh, I'll have it removed when I die. I don't think God will count that. So yes, there is something to think about, the moral argument. And I would be very keen to hear of anybody, and I may even reach out to the Blind Society and indeed the Deaf Society to find out if they would take up this technology. In fact, they will be at the forefront of it in this country because they will be the easiest people to show dramatically on television, on those morning breakfast shows that don't rate very well, the amazing results of people seeing for the first time, hearing for the first time. We've all seen demonstrations of the cochlear implant being turned on for the first time and people hearing for the very first time, hearing their name, hearing their mother's voice. It's all very, very emotional, terribly emotional. But if you've been blind all your life, do you want to see? Do you know what you're missing? Margot says not for her. Yeah, I don't think I would. I think if I'd lived to this ripe old age blind, I would find it rather intimidating, I think, to be able to see. I would find it very confronting because in my 50 plus years of life, I would have grown to imagine what things looked like and then be very confronted by the reality of what they looked like, and the two being very different. So where does this leave the development of this kind of technology in the world? What is being developed? Why is it being developed? And if many of us, as it appears, many in this chat at least, would not take up the abilities if they were offered, and bear in mind there will be other abilities, not just the sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, that kind of thing. There will be more abilities. They will, as things progress, they will find other ways to excite your brain. They might be able to bring on certain more powerful brain activities. Could that be something like telekinesis, or who knows? But if so, if they were able to bring that on, they would be controlling it, wouldn't they? And what are they going to control it to do? What are they going to get you to do with it? All these things, I think, worth bearing in mind as we push forward. I want to share Avi's petition because I think he has done a brilliant job catching this Karen out. Now, this is this American cow who comes here and has decided to tell us how our online lives should be lived. Now, if you go to Rebel News and check out Avi's site, the petition is rebelnews.com petition_sack_Karen now, and put your name down to that one. They've got a bit over 18,500 signatures on it already. I don't know how this woman can, in fact, keep her position. She is an embarrassment to the government. She is an embarrassment to the position. In fact, the position should just be reviewed completely, I would have thought, given the absolute bastardization of power that she's been able to get away with. No single person should be allowed that much power, and certainly not one that maybe doesn't understand our way of life, our way of speaking, our way of carrying on, just because they think it's a bit offensive. Well, frankly, I couldn't give a shit. So soft Americans are not the people we need in charge of e-safety. E-safety is good for catching predators. That's what the guys in Melbourne are doing. They're using online rooms where these predators lurk to try and find children so that they can molest and do other God knows what things to them, certainly screw them psychologically for the rest of their lives. But what does Karen want to do? Oh, she wants to protect you by keeping you away from all of that until you're at least 16. And while there is merit to some of that, the way she is swinging the power axe at the moment, well, she's destined for a big fall. And kudos to Avi, because he did catch her out using WhatsApp and the silent messaging service, where the messages that she was sending and receiving were all deleting themselves after a certain time frame. They weren't being reported in her official communications documents. Therefore, that was a federal breach. The federal court and the federal police have involved themselves in that, and I think there is something in one of those decisions today about that as well. So hopefully she's on the next boat out of here, and I don't really care if she's married to an Australian. Put him on the boat and send him back to America. Good luck to them. There's a lot going on in America at the moment, and in the next 4 days, who the hell knows what could happen. Somebody pointed out to me today, Donald Trump has never mentioned Nasara Jassara. I want to say he has, but not. I want to say he's mentioned it once that I can think of, but when I say I can think of it, I can't tell you the time I thought of it. So jury's out on that one. July 4th is meant to be a world-changing day for the American people, the American nation, and given the pressure that's on the markets at the moment and the way that Europe, China, the BRICS nations in particular, putting pressure on the US dollar with oil sales and a few other bits and pieces, we could see the US dollar collapse. Now, if that happens, that'll probably happen this week. And you would think July 4th would be a good day for Trump to bring it all down and then set it all back up again on July 5. Now, I've also heard that July 5 is the day it all comes to an end. So, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting week. What do we say? I'm going to go out and cut some wood. And if you need firewood to keep warm, let us know. Carl@vofhq.com. I can guarantee we can help you with wood. I don't know what the hell's going to happen in the world in the next few days, but we can help you out with firewood if you'd like to keep warm, and it will be required. It is going to be a chilly winter by the look of it, but in the southeast corner and certainly northern New South Wales over the next few days, I think we're down to 8 degrees tonight, which is probably warmer than it was last night, if I'm honest. Last night, I think it was down to 6. So not used to that sort of cold weather. It's rather painful. So if you could stay warm tonight, I hope it goes. You've Googled Carl's Wood. What the? Oh, my God. Be careful what you Google, can I just say? I think I should just leave that where it is. Whew. A lot of predictions coming about the USA about 3rd and 4th. Yeah, a lot of predictions, including earthquakes. Yellowstone, there has been grumblings in Yellowstone. There is the big volcano vent that is off the coast of Oregon, which has been creating not just smoke on the water, so to speak. It's also been a catalyst for some earthquakes that are pushing into the Californian coast down through Seattle, Oregon, and Seattle. That could be a very bad thing, particularly if you happen to live in California. There is also rumblings around the San Andreas, but there are other faults of significance in deeper parts of the US that are also coming alive. There are weird tornado systems popping up in the middle of nowhere. And while it is sort of getting into tornado season, these tornadoes are coming thick and fast very early in the season. So, yeah, there's a few things that are going down in the world at the moment that we should all be quite happy is just part of the play. It's the movie we're watching. It's a hell of a movie. Have you seen the new F1 movie yet? I haven't either. I hate going to the movie by myself. So I look like an old, lonely person. So I guess I'll wait until it turns up on whatever it turns up on. Crocs near Maryborough. Yeah, what there? I saw that news the other day too. We're not talking Maryborough, Victoria. That's Maryborough. We're talking Maryborough in Queensland, and just around Harvey Bay there. A 3-metre croc in the Mary River. There have been stories of crocs in the Mary River for many years and supposed sightings. This is the first time, I think, in a while they've actually seen it. And he's a 3-metre, so he's not terribly large, but very active. And they've got traps out now trying to set, and they may well have picked it up already, who knows. But they will relocate him, my guess is, to the Rockhampton crocodile farm. That would be my guess. I know a few crocs that have gone there. Yes, this is another significantly bad issue. Singapore have passed a new law that means jail if you refuse the jab, and there are other countries following suit. Expect ours to be like that, I think, in the not too distant future, given that absolute tool of a human being that we've had the misfortune of having placed into a position of power. This bloke, I don't know, seriously, he is just one. Well, I think he's old sandwich short of a picnic, to be honest. He's under a lot of pressure at the moment, though, rightly so, because Donald Trump doesn't seem to want to meet him at all. Now, why would Donald Trump not want to meet him? Well, it couldn't be because elbows are spineless. No, it might be because of Kevin Rudd, the Australian ambassador. Now, Rudd, you might remember during the Biden era, was a staunch Trump opponent and was vocal, very vocal in his criticisms of Trump, called him some horrendous shit. And now, of course, he thinks that the diplomacy is all good. Trump will, work through his issues with him. Well, Trump hasn't. And the president has decided quite clearly that he wants nothing to do with Australia as long as their ambassador is this bloke, because this bloke can't get a meeting with the president. They cannot get in front of him. Now, it's starting to look pretty sad for Albo. He flew all the way to Canada to look really, really impressive with his G7 mates. Do you know why it's called the G7? Because there's only 7 major countries involved. Australia isn't one of them. They bring us onto the periphery because clearly they want to tell us what to do. It's where the orders are handed out. So Albo gets to go and stand on the sidelines and gets his orders. And I think it's quite telling that Trump didn't see him. Whether or not there was an Iranian bomber cell, terrorist cell in Canada at the time, threatening to blow Trump up or not. I think that was one of the rumors that was put out as to why he left the G7 early. Probably had nothing to do with the B-2 bombers that were flying very stealthily across the ocean to go and blow up a nuclear weapons plant in Iran. Probably had nothing to do with that whatsoever. But anyway, we do have some other things to be a little bit concerned about in our world at the moment. One of them might be this. The Chinese have decided to unveil their new mosquito-sized drones. They can perform battlefield missions. Now, I've shown you the video before, and it's available online if you want to see it. It's been around for some years. But these micro drones, as they were called, are capable of having a little charge put in them, a charge strong enough to fire a slug or, in fact, propel the entire drone through the forehead of a human being and act as a kill shot. These little drones fly very fast, and things like this mosquito could do very similar. They wouldn't act with an explosive charge. These would act like mosquitoes and deliver, rather than suck blood out of you, they would deliver something to you, some pathogen to you. They are also capable of audio and video surveillance, amongst other things. So be prepared. Any large, weird-looking mozzies, particularly if they've got slanty wings, be prepared. They could be something more than you would maybe imagine. And we'll wrap up tonight with something from France, because isn't it always fun? France have invented a fabric that bends light. It makes lasers pass through as if the body wasn't even there. Is anybody surprised the French have found a better way to hide? Just saying. At any rate, they seem to have had some success making Harry Potter's cape by the sound of it, and good luck to them. It's called an anti-laser fabric that bends light around the body. A defense optics lab near Lyon in French have got very excited about it. They are using large infrared targeting lasers and rangefinders, and the material renders the wearer essentially invisible to sensors and smart weapons. The textile is woven with nanostructured metal materials, microscopic patterns that reflect light around the fabric surface instead of reflecting or absorbing it. The pattern shifts dynamically in response to incoming wavelengths. That means the light coming into it, making the fabric adapt to visible, IR, or near ultraviolet light. Well, there you go. Congratulations to the French. That is a truly amazing bit of kit, if in fact it has been put together. Shit. I've lost my picture. Let me go out and come back. Right, there we go. Sorry about that. So there you go. That was a little interesting bit from the French. Good luck to them finding a new way to hide and getting the inspiration out of Harry Potter. It really does impress the hell out of me. Congratulations to them. All right, folks, run a little over an hour tonight, but keep your eye out. As I say, there's going to be some big opportunities in the near future for you to consider what your bloodline means to you, and we'll explain how it's important in so very many different ways, and we'll give you a way to fix it. That's probably key. We won't just talk about it. We'll see if we can't help you with figuring it out. Just going to have a quick slash back through the comments to see if there's anything here. Low flying stealth butterfly. Thank you, Daniel. Crunch, what have I got here? China has a robot that can go into water, capture people going against the government. Well, that wouldn't surprise me. I would have thought any ship in the Chinese People's Army, because it's not Army Navy, or is it planned? Yes, it is planned. People's Liberation Army Navy. Any ship would probably do that. Pull up alongside, and what did they used to do? They'd knock you on the head and drag you on board a ship. You wake up, miles out to sea, and you'd been not keel hauled. That was dragged under the boat. Forget it. Anyway, one of those long days. Anyway, folks, enjoy yours tonight, whatever it is that you do. And I look forward to joining you again tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be a couple of interesting little tidbits overnight. If you can, please go and check out ainslieybullion.com.au and get in, buy yourself a little bit of silver. Just even one coin might make a difference. 1 gram could make a difference at the prices some people are predicting before the end of this year. So there is so much happening in the world, folks. It's just the most exciting time to be alive. And remember, God doesn't send us any challenge we can't deal with, all right? I know it may seem at times that some of them are insurmountable, but hey, look, we all survived the dickheads on the road today, so nothing's impossible. See you tomorrow.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's rock!